Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. Today, what we're going to look at is a swim analysis with Pro Triathlete Joanna Ryter. She actually won Ironman Texas. She's been in the Easy Speed pool a couple times, and so I've got some video we can show from 2023 and then 2024 to go over. But what I'm going to do is just let you guys watch kind of the part of the session. You can see what she looks like swimming, and then what we decided to go over. So here we go. Okay, so we also got some data on her with the sensors from this most recent time, and here's kind of the aggregate data, and you can look, average on the left was about 2.56, 2.49, so she's really balanced in terms of amount of propulsion or the amount of power she's generating on each side. Decent from what I've seen for triathletes so far, about 41% propulsive. Kind of the upper end of that, it looks like, is probably mid 50s. Downward's okay. We'd want that closer to about 20, and then you want left and right closer to 0. Because what you can see is, she's putting out a lot of her power. The propulsion is going off to the sides and not straight back. And that's what we're looking to get to, is to drive as much of this propulsion straight back. And the only way that happens is if we get a lot of stability in the water. So when we go to the next one, so this is basically, again, what it looks like, how much power she's generating on each side, left and right. And she's pretty close on both. Stroke rate's about the same. You got to think about balance in the stroke operating on multiple levels. So it's the length of your body on the water, how much your core is engaged, how kind of balanced you are on that water. And then, another one, an important one, is how much power are you generating on each side? If this is wildly imbalanced, you're going to have an unbalanced stroke. So then when we break it down into just the left and the right, and this was basically one stroke within, but this was a lot of what they looked like. So this was the left. So, 2.5. Here, the propulsion shoots up, 52.8. which is kind of getting towards the upper end of what I've seen from triathletes so far. Downward is really at, 20%, 19.9, but she's putting a lot out to the left, and you can see that here. What we'd prefer would be just a really, really straight line going straight back. Driving that power that she's generating straight back and as much as possible into propulsion. Now, when we go to the right, here's where things start to get interesting. So 25% propulsive, so it's dramatically different from the left. About the same amount of power, it's just more of it is going off to the side and not straight back. We're at 18.9 rightward, 50% straight down, and then the hand drag is up a little bit. So, this is an athlete that's trying to stabilize in the water. And this is one of the things that I wanted to go over today. We're going to go over what we did in the session to kind of try to get a little bit more stability in her stroke. And then I'll show you where exactly this is coming from and what this data looks like in the video. So here was the session, and this is what I wanted to show you guys. So here is what we really wanted to work on. You can see kind of the little bit of crossing over that she's doing, and we'll get one right here. So if we figure midline is right about there, a lot of this is going that way. You can see kind of this hip is going out. There's this, definite kind of imbalance in the shoulders right there. And then the feet are going that way. And what we want is we want everything just to be as perfectly straight down that line as possible. And everything just rotating off of that with a lot of balance, a lot of stability. So that was what we were trying to address. And you can see I did a side by side of her for 2023 and then 2024. You can see how much it's improved since 2023. She's focused on it a lot and has made some improvement, but there's always more gains to be made and more efficiency to be made. And so what we did first was we kicked with the brick, and what we were doing that for was just to really target the core and get the core to engage and force it to engage way more than she would normally be able to do, just so she gets that feel for this. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give athletes a feel for how it should be so that they can go back to that in practice. This is what we did next. And then you can see here are the results. She gets a lot more engaged. You can see how connected those hips and shoulders are. I'll slow it down a little bit. And they're really moving together. There's still a little bit of sway, but that's okay. We can continue to work on that. And then you can see that she's got, a lot more of the stroke just driving straight forward. Now, for what we were talking about from the sensor data between the left and the right. So it basically comes off of the breath right here. So you can see as she turns to breathe, her right hand is way, way outside from where midline is. So there's the right hand. There's just no leverage over there, especially if we figure when we're right here, she's basically on her side. Midline is here. So that's how far away from, you figure that the really sweet spot for all the leverage on the water is somewhere in there. So this is just way outside of her ability to lever the water. And, as we go through, you can see here's where she turns that hand out. So you can see that the hand is kind of driving some of the pressure that she's generating, especially right there, which is the most powerful point in that stroke, kind of in between the nose and the belly button. That's where you're going to have the most amount of leverage on the water. She's driving it outside like that. And then you can see kind of the difference between the left, where, the left is just kind of got this same pull pattern for the most part each time. That's a little bit of a straight arm. Let's see if we can get a better one. Oops. We'll go back. So then, the left is, here was a pretty good one. Okay. So, here she is pulling through, and, we're pretty much in line with the shoulder. She's getting a lot of leverage there. And then she's driving more of it straight back towards that wall, which is what we want to do. So as always, thank you for tuning in, and please like, share, comment, subscribe. That greatly helps the channel and allows me to keep on bringing you guys this content. And I hope to see you in the pool soon.